What if I told you that something sitting in your kitchen spice cabinet right now, something that costs less than a dime, could transform the cup of coffee you drink every single morning into one of the most powerful health drinks on the planet? I know, it sounds almost too simple to be true, but stay with me. Because in my years of practice, working with patients over 50, I've seen firsthand how the smallest, most overlooked habits can make the biggest difference in how you feel every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Linda. And today I want to talk to you about something that has genuinely surprised even me. A single whole clove added to your morning coffee the right way that can do things for your body that no expensive supplement on a pharmacy shelf can replicate. Now, before you scroll past thinking this is just another trendy health tip, I want you to ask yourself something. Do any of these sound familiar? You wake up and for the first few hours, your brain just won't fully turn on. That foggy, slow start feeling that doesn't lift until noon. Or maybe it's the bloating after meals, that uncomfortable fullness that follows you through the morning. Perhaps it's the quiet aching in your knees and joints when you first get out of bed, or that deep bone-level fatigue that stays with you even after a full 8 hours of sleep. If you nodded to even one of those, what I'm about to share could genuinely change your morning starting tomorrow. Because here's what most Americans don't realize about their daily cup of coffee. Coffee is not just caffeine. It is actually one of the richest sources of natural antioxidants in the entire American diet. And when you pair it with one specific spice correctly in the right way, something remarkable happens inside your body in the very first 15 minutes. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 things. First, the science behind why coffee and clove work so powerfully together, and why most people are making their coffee completely wrong every single morning. Second, the exact step-by-step method to prepare this correctly at home using what you already have in your kitchen. And third, what you can realistically expect to feel and notice in your body from the first day all the way to 3 months in. As your doctor, I want to be clear about something before we begin. I'm not here to sell you anything. There's no supplement, no product, no program, just a whole clove, one single clove, and the coffee you're already drinking. Because sometimes the most powerful medicine is the simplest one. And sometimes it's been sitting in your spice cabinet the whole time. Let's get into it. Now let me ask you something that might surprise you. Have you ever wondered why 2 people can drink the same cup of coffee every morning, and one feels energized and clear-headed, while the other feels jittery, anxious, and bloated? The difference isn't the coffee, it's what's missing from the coffee. And in my practice, one of the simplest additions I've started recommending to patients over 50 has been this: one whole clove prepared correctly every single morning. Here's why it works, and the science behind it is genuinely fascinating. Tip 1, understand why coffee plus clove is a perfect pair. Let's start with coffee. Most people think of it purely as a caffeine delivery system, but coffee is actually one of the richest sources of polyphenols in the American diet, particularly a compound called chlorogenic acid. According to Harvard Medical School, chlorogenic acid is a powerful antioxidant that helps stabilize blood sugar, protect the liver, and reduce systemic inflammation. A 2020 study published on PubMed found that regular coffee drinkers showed significantly lower markers of inflammation compared to non-coffee drinkers, independent of caffeine content entirely. Now let's talk about clove. In my years of practice, I've recommended many natural anti-inflammatory foods to my patients. But clove holds a special place because it contains the highest concentration of a compound called eugenol of any spice on the planet. Nothing else comes close. Eugenol is a natural anti-inflammatory agent that, according to research from the NIH, has demonstrated effects comparable to ibuprofen in reducing inflammation markers, without the side effects on your stomach lining that long-term NSAID use can cause. Here's where it gets truly remarkable. When chlorogenic acid from coffee and eugenol from clove enter your body together, they don't simply add their effects. Scientists call this phenomenon food synergy, where 2 compounds amplify each other's absorption and effectiveness. A 2019 study from researchers at the University of Milan found that polyphenol combinations from natural food sources showed up to 4 times greater antioxidant activity than either compound alone. 1 plus 1, in this case, does not equal 2. It equals something much more powerful. And the beautiful part? 1 whole clove costs less than 10 cents. The coffee you already drink every morning, that's the entire investment. Tip 2, what happens inside your body day by day. In my clinic, I always tell my patients, don't just trust the theory, look for what you actually feel. So let me walk you through what you can realistically expect when you add clove to your morning coffee correctly starting tomorrow. Within the first 15 minutes, most people notice something unexpected, energy, but without the familiar jitteriness or that anxious tightness in the chest that regular coffee sometimes brings. This happens because eugenol gently relaxes smooth muscle tissue, including the walls of your blood vessels. The caffeine provides the lift, the clove removes the anxiety. The result is what I describe to my patients as clarity without chaos. Within the first 24 hours, digestion improves noticeably. Clove has well-documented carminative properties, meaning it reduces gas, bloating, and digestive discomfort. Coffee simultaneously stimulates bowel motility. Together, they work as a gentle morning digestive reset. Many of my patients over 60 report a lightness in their stomach they hadn't felt in years after just one morning. Within 3 days, blood sugar begins to stabilize. Chlorogenic acid slows glucose absorption in the gut, preventing those sharp post-meal spikes. Eugenol, according to a 2021 study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology, improves insulin receptor sensitivity, meaning your cells respond to insulin more efficiently. Those familiar hunger crashes an hour after eating begin to level out. For my patients managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this is particularly significant, though always discuss with your personal physician before making changes to your routine. Within 1 week, inflammation starts to quietly come down. You may notice it in small ways first. Morning knee stiffness that resolves a little faster, fingers that feel less swollen when you wake up, that familiar aching in your lower back that eases sooner than usual. According to the CDC, chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the primary drivers of age-related disease in Americans over 50, affecting everything from cardiovascular health to cognitive function. Reducing it, even modestly, has measurable whole-body benefits. Within 1 month, your liver begins to benefit. Research from the Cleveland Clinic suggests that regular coffee consumption is associated with significantly lower rates of fatty liver disease and liver fibrosis. Eugenol amplifies this effect by reducing oxidative stress directly in liver cells. A cleaner, more efficient liver means better detoxification, and many of my patients notice clearer skin and steadier energy levels as a direct result. Within 3 months, the cumulative effect becomes truly meaningful. Steadier energy throughout the day, improved cognitive clarity, reduced joint discomfort, better digestion, more stable blood sugar, and for many patients, gradual, sustainable weight management, because improved insulin sensitivity directly reduces the tendency for excess fat storage. All of this from one clove, added to the coffee you are already drinking. Tip 3, the exact protocol and the 3 mistakes that kill the effect. Now here's where most people go wrong, and I want to make sure you don't make these mistakes, because doing this incorrectly gives you almost no benefit at all. The correct method is what's called a decoction. Here's exactly how to do it. Take 3 whole cloves, not ground, not powdered. Whole dried cloves from the spice aisle at your local grocery store, whether that's Walmart, Kroger, or Whole Foods. Place them in a small pot with 10 ounces of water, about 1.5 cups. Bring to a boil, then immediately reduce the heat and let it simmer gently for exactly 5 minutes, no longer. Remove from heat, strain out the cloves, and use this clove-infused water to brew your coffee however you normally would. French press, drip machine, or pod brewer. Drink it slowly, on an empty stomach, as the very first thing you consume in the morning. That's the complete protocol. Simple, inexpensive, powerful. For busy mornings, there is a faster method. Crush 1 whole clove, use the flat side of a knife or a small mortar, and drop it directly into your freshly brewed black coffee. Let it steep for 3 minutes, then drink. This delivers approximately 60 to 70% of the full decoction effect. Not perfect, but far better than nothing. Now, the 3 mistakes I see most often that completely eliminate the benefit. Mistake number 1, dropping a whole, uncrushed clove into already brewed coffee. Clove is an extremely dense, hard spice. Without heat or crushing, the eugenol simply cannot be extracted. You get a pleasant aroma and almost zero therapeutic effect. Mistake number 2, boiling the cloves for longer than 5 to 7 minutes. Eugenol is heat sensitive. Prolonged boiling breaks it down and destroys it. More time is not better here. It is actively harmful to the result. Mistake number 3, adding milk, cream, or sugar after brewing. This is the one that surprises my patients most. Casein, the protein in dairy, binds directly to polyphenols and blocks their absorption in your gut. Sugar spikes insulin and cancels a significant portion of the blood sugar benefit. If you truly cannot drink it black, add a small amount of coconut oil or a pinch of cinnamon instead. Both are compatible with the polyphenol absorption process. One important note before we move on: if you currently take blood thinners, such as warfarin or high-dose aspirin, please speak with your physician before starting this protocol. Eugenol has a mild, natural anticoagulant effect that could interact with these medications. If you have active gastritis, a stomach ulcer, or severe acid reflux, coffee itself may not be appropriate for your situation, and Clove won't change that underlying condition. For everyone else, this is one of the safest, most accessible, and most evidence-supported morning habits I have recommended in my entire career. Now let's bring everything together, because knowing this information is only half the equation. The other half is actually doing it. Let's bring everything together, because I don't want you to finish this video, think, that was interesting, and then walk into your kitchen tomorrow morning and do exactly what you've always done. That would be a shame, because what we talked about today is genuinely simple enough to start tomorrow and powerful enough to change how you feel within days. So here is what I want you to remember. Coffee is not just caffeine. It is one of the richest sources of natural antioxidants in your daily diet, particularly chlorogenic acid, which stabilizes blood sugar, protects your liver, and fights inflammation. Clove contains eugenol, the most concentrated natural anti-inflammatory compound found in any spice on the planet. And when these two come together correctly, they amplify each other's effects in a way that no single supplement on a pharmacy shelf can replicate. That is the science. Simple, clean, and backed by research from Harvard, the NIH, and the Cleveland Clinic. And here's what that science looks like in your body. In the first 15 minutes, clarity without anxiety. Within 24 hours, lighter, easier digestion. Within 3 days, steadier blood sugar, fewer energy crashes. Within 1 week, less morning joint stiffness, reduced inflammation. Within 1 month, a cleaner liver, clearer skin, steadier energy. Within 3 months, a version of your mornings that feels genuinely different. All from one clove, added to the coffee you are already drinking. Here's exactly what I want you to do. No complicated steps, no expensive ingredients, just this. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm 5 minutes earlier than usual. Place 3 whole cloves, whole, not ground, into a small pot with 10 ounces of water. Bring it to a boil, lower the heat, and let it simmer for exactly 5 minutes. Strain out the cloves, use that water to brew your coffee the way you normally would. Drink it slowly black on an empty stomach before anything else. That is it. That is the entire protocol. And if 5 minutes feels like too much on your first morning, crush 1 whole clove with the flat side of a knife, drop it into your brewed coffee, let it sit for 3 minutes, then drink. 60 to 70% of the full effect. Enough to feel the difference. Enough to make you want to try the full method the next day. Start small. Stay consistent. That is always how real change begins. One last thing I want you to remember as your doctor: your body is not failing you. It is simply responding to what you give it each morning. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can give it costs less than 10 cents and takes less than 5 minutes. You already have the coffee. Now add the clove and let your body show you what it is still capable of. Now I want to hear from you. Are you going to try the full decoction method tomorrow? Or start with the quick crush and steep first? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you have already tried adding clove to your coffee before, tell me what you noticed. How quickly did you feel it? Your experience might be exactly what someone else watching right now needs to hear to finally take that first step. If today's video gave you something real and useful, please consider subscribing to my channel. Every week, I share simple, science-backed health tips made specifically for life after 50. No complicated protocols, no expensive products, just honest, practical guidance from a doctor who genuinely cares about how you feel every single day. Click subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. This is Dr. Linda. Thank you for being here today. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.